The advent of Dragon Ball Super Broly has brought about many questions about the Dragon Ball universe, the possibility of Dragon Ball in the future, what characters could return, what characters could we never see again. There are many questions that are been left unanswered and will probably be left unanswered even after the movie comes out. However, there is one question that people have been asking ever since the movie trailer dropped. That being, is Gogeta going to be in the movie? For some reason, Gogeta is like the face of Dragon Ball movies alongside Broly, and we already have half of that set, which is super weird. If you told me back in 2017 that we would be getting a Dragon Ball Super movie with Broly, I would have told you that you're crazy and to get out of my house because you shouldn't be here in the first place. But now there's the possibility that Gogeta will be in the movie too. And the world's just ending. That's the only explanation for this happening. But there is some things that point to Gogeta being in the movie, including some data mining in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 that shows Broly and possibly Gogeta, a new version of him. And there wouldn't be any need for those two specific characters to get new variations unless they're the movie versions. So that's the only explanation. Broly and Gogeta are gonna be in the movie, and that's crazy. Broly and Gogeta, like I said, are basically the face of Dragon Ball movies. They're always paired together in video games. If there's two movie villains, it's Broly and Cooler, and if there's a good guy from the movies, it's Gogeta. There's no way around it. It's actually really strange, the history they have together, because of their recognition as far as the movies go, because they have been fighting each other for years now. You guys may not realize it, but they have been, and it's really weird. Such as with the Budokai 3 opening, Gogeta and Broly fought there. The Budokai Tenkaichi 3 opening, Gogeta and Broly fought there. And even the 4D Broly special that played at Universal Studios Japan, that has Broly versus Gogeta. Well, it's not really Gogeta. As you see in the pictures here, it's a 3D animation of Gogeta, but it's actually Goku fused with the audience members, which is a cool concept, and Broly gets like a god form, but it's just weird. But anyways, Broly and Gogeta have been fighting each other for years now. So this is nothing new, and maybe even expected for something like this, because with the announcement that Broly is the main villain of the movie, that's first of all just crazy, and second of all, opens possibilities far and wide. Anything could happen at this point. Janemba could show up for all we know, although that's less plausible than Gogeta showing up. Gogeta was designed by Tadayoshi Yamamoto for the 12th Dragon Ball Z movie, Rebirth Fusion, Goku and Vegeta, otherwise known as Fusion Reborn here in the States. And ever since then, he has made appearances everywhere in video games, even in the sequel series Dragon Ball GT as a Super Saiyan 4. So, it's honestly surprising that we haven't gotten him in Super up until this point. Vegito is often considered the most powerful of the two fusions, but with Gogeta possibly being integrated into the actual mainline story, it's possible that Vegito may just be irrelevant from this point on. You see, fusion dance is much more convenient than the Potara earrings. Unless you have a Kaioshin around 24/7, you're not gonna have the earrings to fuse with. Also, the time limit added to the Potara fusion basically makes it as good as the fusion dance. There's no really many drawbacks to either or anymore. What I'm trying to say here is that this could possibly mean that we would not see Vegito in any big way after this movie. He'll show up in video games and stuff, but it would just would not make sense to have Vegito show up with the Potara earrings if it's so much easier to pop up Gogeta, give him a blue wig, and suddenly, you know, you're the most popular character around. It just doesn't make sense to have Vegito in-universe and out-of-universe. Added to that, the movies that are gonna be shown here in the United States in the following months, and the first one is this month actually, is Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, Fusion Reborn, and Bardock, the father of Goku. And we already know, Bardock's gonna be in the movie, and Broly's gonna be in the movie. The only one left out of those that is possible is Gogeta. And I know the United States side doesn't have much to do with the Japanese side of Dragon Ball, but the American side has been already dubbing this film for a bit. This means that it's potentially, they already know something that we don't know. They probably know the ending of the film, and they're just teasing us with it, you know? Another thing is that they will have to drastically change how he was introduced in comparison to Fusion Reborn. Obviously, neither Goku and Vegeta are dead, and a lot of the characters that were in Fusion Reborn don't exist anymore. So, there's one glaring issue that I have with this, is that I think a lot of us are expecting something specific from the first canonical quote-unquote introduction to Gogeta, and I don't think those expectations are gonna be met, particularly. For one, I know a lot of us expect something similar at least to the movie, such as Vegeta being all against the idea of fusing and then messing up once. And I just feel like that's not really realistic at this point story-wise. Vegeta is a much different person than he was in the movie. He's done a bingo dance, he's ridiculed himself for the sake of the world. He would be a lot more willing, at least in my opinion, to do the fusion dance with Goku, especially now that they've at least twice used the Potara fusion. So I feel like, if anything, Vegeta might be the one to bring up the idea like he did in GT. And I doubt they'll mess up once. And if they do, it'll be like for 2 seconds. I don't think they would want to waste time in something like that when the movie has been this hyped up for action. But who knows. Another thing that I think we also expect is the Stardust Breaker to be used in the movie. And that would be cool. It would be really cool, but I don't think they would use it. It's a popular attack, but I don't think it's nearly recognizable enough like the Big Bang attack. I mean, the Big Bang Kamehameha, which I think they would use instead of that. And as cool as that would be, I would also prefer the Stardust Breaker myself, just because it has more visual flair, and it's more interesting to look at than the simple Big Bang Kamehameha. Finally, I just wanted to mention that Goten and Trunks have been announced for the movie. It's still looking like they're not 5 years old, which is ridiculous. But this also brings out the possibility for Gogeta and Gotenks to fight together, which would be incredible. If anything, that's the one thing I want the most if Gogeta does show up in the movie. But either way you slice it, it's looking like we're going to be seeing a lot more Gogeta this coming December and January. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm fine with Gogeta. Gogeta's a cool character, but I've always just been much more of a Vegito fan, and it's kind of sad that if Gogeta does show up, the possibility is that Vegito will just never pop out again, which I don't think I expected him to anyways. But Vegito being the face of fusion as he has been since he showed up in Super last, that was kind of cool, and I'll probably miss that. But anyways, guys, that's all really I had to say on this topic. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share, comment, subscribe. Check out my last video. It was part 2 of What If Vegeta Was the First Super Saiyan, a what if story that I am progressively putting out videos for. Anyways, till we meet again, goodbye.